There are some foundational concepts in the work that I do. The first is something called mental chatter. And mental chatter is an internal monologue that we have going on in our heads all the time. It begins with you when you get up in the morning, is with you right through the day, is with you right now when, out of courtesy, you should be listening to my chatter instead of your chatter. So you lead your life in spite of your mental chatter. You suppress it, you ignore it, you work around it. Sometimes it's so loud that it prevents you from going to sleep. Ignoring mental chatter is a big mistake. And the reason it's a big mistake is we create our reality with our mental chatter. We think we live in the real world. We don't. We live in a real world, and we create it with our mental chatter. And our mental models, which is the next concept I want to share with you. A mental model is a notion we have that this is the way the world works. And we have dozens of mental models. We've got a model for everything. We've got a model for how do I start a business? How do I find a good employee to hire for my business? How do I find a person to marry? How do I find a movie to go to? We've got dozens of models, maybe hundreds of models. These models may or may not conflict with each other, and we may or may not be aware of the conflict. The problem is not that we have mental models. The problem is that we are not aware that we have mental models. We think this is the way the world is, but this is not the way the world is. This is our model of this is the way the world is. And the more we believe in our model of this is the way the world is, the more evidence we seem to get that this in fact is the way the world is, and very soon we build a silo around ourselves that's so thick it's almost impossible to break out of. Now, all of this seems kind of abstract, so let me see if I can bring it home with a situation. And what I like to do is I'm going to describe a situation. I don't want you to listen to me. I want you to actually put yourself in that situation. You're going to an important meeting and you're running late. You're driving. You are stuck in a traffic jam, not a regular run-of-the-mill traffic jam, but the mother of all traffic jams. Going to an important meeting, you're driving, you're running late, you're stuck in a massive traffic jam. And in addition, it's one of those really hot days, and the thermometer is well over 100 degrees, and the air conditioning in your car has broken down. Now, a car cuts in front of you and almost causes an accident, and then it cuts in front of another car in front of you, almost causes another accident. What are your feelings towards the driver of that car? It would be fair to say that loving kindness is not it, correct? Now I'm going to share some information with you. The driver of this car that cut you off so rudely and almost caused an accident, he's received some terrible news. His son was involved in a serious accident, and he's desperately trying to get to the hospital, and he has no knowledge of whether or not he's ever going to see his son alive again. So what happens to your anger when I share that information with you? Does it palpably dissipate? Now, you don't really know whether the guy who cut you off was an inconsiderate jerk or a distraught father, right? You had the choice of determining which is the emotional domain you are going to occupy. One, you had a choice, and two, you exercised that choice. And the reason this is important is that you face such a juncture in your life dozens of times every day. And in the vast majority of those instances, you choose to occupy a domain that leaves you depressed, angry, frustrated, rejected, and you never recognize that this is something that you chose. And the reason that you do that is because of the mental chatter that you entertain and the mental models that you hold. Every time you are in a situation that you find unpleasant and it persists, you are using one or more mental models that are not serving you well. And the moment you make a change in that mental model, poof, that situation will dissolve and disappear just like that.